Hi, everyone. It's Paul Ward here, and welcome to another 15 minutes. I'm excited today. We have a special guest, Mariana Hermosillo with Goosehead Insurance. Mariana, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And of course, we want to thank our sponsors, Opus Escrow and the Money Store. So today we are specifically talking about insurance as it relates to first-time homebuyers and the do's and don'ts of purchasing insurance and making sure that you have enough coverage as well as the right coverage and you're not being taken advantage of. So lots of good tips for folks that are purchasing their first home.
Mhm.
So I wanted to have you on because I think of you as the expert in this field.
Awesome. Thank you, Paul. Appreciate that. Thank you so
Absolutely,
much.
absolutely. So for those folks that are thinking about or in the process of purchasing their first home, what would you say the biggest things to consider are?
The first thing they should really consider is going to a broker. A broker has many carriers to choose from. Not all carriers carry the same coverage or offer the same coverage. So the best thing to do is to call their local insurance broker, talk to them about the home that they're purchasing, make sure that they have over 10 to 20 carriers that they can really feel like they have get a good value for the price that they'll be paying for that homeowner's insurance.
So the broker is shopping around as
Mhm.
opposed to just limited to whatever one agent would have, so to speak.
That is correct. Yeah. And if you're a first time buyer, you're getting calls from not only your real estate agent, your escrow agent, your loan officer. So when you trust a broker, he or she is, they're going to be shopping that policy for you. That limits, the time that you have to spend. You provide them all the information that they want to gather, and they basically do the shopping for you. And, once they find that they find the best value, and the best premium, they'll present that for you. So that way you don't feel like you're calling multiple companies, not really knowing what to ask. You're trusting one person to find you the best coverage out there.
Gotcha. And what would be a reasonable amount of coverage? Let's say for a, 3 bedroom, 2 bath home, 2,400 square feet, kind of a, not a condo, but not a big estate.
That's interesting that you asked because a lot of first time buyers feel that all policies and all carriers kind of have the same pricing, and it's really not. There's many factors that come with the premium amount that you pay. For example, zip code. Of course, roof, how old the roof is, any updates. Will your home also have any security packages like an alarm? Do you have sprinklers? So not all premiums are the same because, of course, there's also fire lines. So different areas will pay a different amount, even if the home is a similar square footage or year built. So Camarillo, Oxnard, even Ventura, you can buy the same home, but they're all going to be different premiums altogether. You also have to think about when you can possibly bundle your home and auto to receive a 20% off. So all those things have a factor in your premium that you'll be ultimately paying.
Interesting. I didn't know that you could actually get a discount for an alarm system.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Because with a homeowner's policy, there is also theft included as one of your coverages. If you do have an alarm system, they'll give you up to 10% off on your premium as well.
Oh, wow. Okay. And then bundling, that would be if I have, let's say, two cars.
Mhm. Correct.
Anything else that you could kind of bundle with your
Oh, yes,
homeowner insurance?
absolutely. With my agency, when a client not only bundles their auto, but also bundles their umbrella, their life insurance, the more
Hmm.
you bundle up with those policies, the more discounts you get. Because my
Gotcha.
agency is a full agency where we not only offer homeowners insurance, but we also offer auto, life insurance, and umbrella, and also your toys. Think about that boat, that RV that's sitting in your driveway. Those are also extra policies that will get you another discount.
Gotcha. And
Mhm.
you and I have had some side conversations about just kind of the challenges of getting insurance in California. Of course, we've had big fires, we've got floods, we've got mudslides. Some carriers have left.
Yes.
So, it's getting more expensive. Everything is just getting more expensive overall.
Yes.
How are you, and I know you've been at this a long time,
Mhm.
how are you looking out for your clients with all of the changing landscape here in California?
So the way that the difference between me and other agents is that I contact my clients at renewal. I do calls, I do emails, and I check in with them to see if anything has changed. Most of the time, the calls or emails that I sent out are returned with my premium increased. Can we shop it around? So that's where it separates me from other agents, is that I'm making those calls and asking the questions. Did you add anything new? For example, I had a lady just recently, her homeowners policy increased by over $120. So when I reached out to her, she said, well, can you tell me why? And I said, yes. I said, the cost of inflation, it costs more to rebuild your home. But I did not know until we talked that she had added a new fire alarm system in her home. She had replaced her roof and also replaced her plumbing. So
Oh,
all
wow.
those things are a huge factor when it comes to insurance, because newer roof, less risk,
Right.
plumbing, less risk, of course, for water damage. So ultimately, she broke even at the end of the day when we added all those discounts, and she was happy that we had this conversation, and she was glad that I reached out. So those are the things that I do to look after my clients, to make sure that they're not only are they getting the best price, the best coverage, but just overall the best experience when they're with my agency.
Sure. And then also too, we had the big Thomas fire in I think it was 2017, December of
Yeah,
2017.
correct.
And if you look up in the hills, some of the homes have been rebuilt and some have not. And I know that, insurance played a big part in that, right?
Correct.
Some folks realized they didn't have enough coverage and they thought they did.
Right. Yes, that was unfortunately. We did see quite a bit, people not being able to rebuild because they had not done an update with their agent. They had not looked at their the renewal packet. A lot of people don't read their renewal packets because they feel like, oh, it's paid through my escrow account, everything's fine. But that's not the case. They should always be looking at that renewal increase. Be looking at, oh, hey, me, that's people are adding ADUs nowadays too. So what you need to make sure you add those to your policy. So a lot of the times people are not looking at those policies, and therefore, unfortunately, are uninsured at the end of the day.
Gotcha. And what would be a kind of a safe amount of coverage, would you say? Because maybe there's somebody that a stranger comes in your house, right? That would be, I
Mhm.
think, is that liability insurance if somebody comes and trips inside your
You're
kitchen?
correct. Yes, you're correct. So liability insurance, I never, your policy comes with included at $100,000. I always feel at Goosehead that we do not insure anyone for less than $500,000. That is our standard. So our
Hmm.
standard liability, you'll never see a Goosehead policy written at anything less than that, because nowadays lawsuits are expensive. You're,
Right.
so if someone comes and slips, falls, even if it's you're having a party and
Hmm.
it's one of your own relatives, one of the party goers, they can turn around and sue you. They can say, hey, Paul, I was having a great time at your party, but I slipped and fell, and now I was out of work for 2 weeks, and that can turn into a lawsuit. So us folks at Goosehead, we do not insure anyone less for $500,000 for any of your liability coverage. And that also includes your Amazon deliveries, your mail carrier that's dropping off those packages and they slipped on your front porch. That also includes them.
Right. And with all the rains, the leaks that are popping up all over everywhere, with all
Yeah.
the rains, that's not covered by flood. Is that correct?
No, it's actually covered by flood, but not
Oh,
covered under your homeowner's policy.
oh,
So
wow.
what happens is any water, the way that you want to think of water is any water coming into your home, that is not covered. That would only be covered under a flood insurance policy. But if a pipe were to break inside your home, any water from the inside out, that is
Mm.
covered under your homeowner's policy. So that's just so all the rains, unfortunately, that people we've been experiencing. If you've had any roof water coming in through your roof, unfortunately, unless you have a flood policy, that is not covered under your basic homeowner's policy.
Interesting. That's good to know. So I would imagine there's a lot of people that are underinsured in that
Mhm.
department.
That is correct. Yeah. Because we're told, we're not in a flood zone. For example, in Oxnard, a few areas in Ventura are not considered flood zones. So a lot of the times when people feel like, well, I don't need it, or I'm not forced to carry it, they won't purchase it. Just like earthquake. Earthquake's not a policy that is mandated by your mortgage carrier to carry. So a lot of people really just don't purchase it. They're like, it's not mandated. So they just look away.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And when is for those folks that are purchasing a home,
Mm-hmm.
when is the best time to get their insurance in place? I mean, I know a lot of people just kind of wait till the last minute. It's almost an afterthought.
Right.
Because the lender wants to see it in place before they sign that loan over.
Right.
So when is the best time to reach out to your agent to make sure that you've got the right coverage in place for when you do own that property?
Oh, that's a great question. At the moment that your offer is accepted, once your offer has been accepted, I feel like that's a great time for you to contact your agent. That gives them enough time to do all the underwriting process. There may be factors, like I said, like I mentioned earlier about roofs or plumbing. We may not know when was the last time those things were upgraded. So that gives us time to not only contact maybe you as a realtor or maybe the loan officer, someone may have those answers that are needed to factor in that rate. So the moment you get your offer accepted is the best time.
Gotcha. And the policies that you sign are typically kind of a one year policy and then it adjusts after that?
So it's a 1 year premium, 12 months. Mm-hmm. So when you purchase that homeowners policy, it is for 12 months, correct?
Okay. Any other helpful tips for folks that are out purchasing a home and thinking about insurance?
Oh, definitely. Oh, I'm not too sure if claims are ever told or are ever, that is something that has to be told to the purchasing client.
Right.
But claims play a big deal. There's some carriers out there that if the home has existing claims, you will pay a higher premium. So that might be one thing that a first-time buyer may not think about, but it's definitely worth asking the realtor, asking about any existing claims or.
So if the seller has claims on that particular property, you're saying that those claims could affect the new owner.
Absolutely. When I purchased my home, there had been 2 prior water claims. So that affected my premium, although they were not my home. Right. That wasn't my home at the time of those claims. I love the home. Right. So I said, I'm going to take that hit. I'm going to take that risk, but I made sure that I was properly insured. So you always want to ask those questions. Has this home had any history of claims in the last 5 years? Are when those claims will still be surcharge to the policy. And like I said, not many carriers do it, but there are some that do include that surcharge. So you always want to make sure you ask those questions.
Yeah, that is actually a standard disclosure. But I would think then that if you're a seller thinking of selling or just a homeowner in general, to keep your premium from going up, if the work that you need to do, let's say you had a small plumbing leak, that can be fixed by a local plumber or a handyman or yourself, then no point in filing a claim for something that's so small.
That is correct. That is exactly what I tell my clients. One of the perks of doing business with my agency is that I do have restoration companies that do free inspections. So when any of my clients call me and say, Mariana, I may have a possible claim, I send out these people I work with. And I've been in the business for over 21 years. So I've established great relationships with some of these individuals in these companies. And they will go out there and do free inspections for my clients to determine whether it's a good thing to file that claim or to just, it's probably not worth the headache or the possible, the possibility of that claim being not covered through the insurance policy.
Sure. Well, that's a great added benefit.
Absolutely.
So, Mariana, how do folks get a hold of you? And do you serve all of California?
I do. I serve all of California, and I can be reached via phone. My number is 805-394-8806. That's my direct number. Also by my email, it's my first name, mariana.hermosillo@goosehead.com, or they can also go to the Goosehead agency, website, and just type in www.goosehead.com and they'll find, type in my name and they'll find me there as well.
Wonderful. We thank you so much. This has been very informative, and I'm sure that our watchers and listeners will appreciate what you have to share. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.